First of all, thank you very much to the Magento Association for the opportunity, and I'm very happy to introduce to you with a big round of applause to Katy Wilson. Welcome on stage. So I leave you the presentation, okay? Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Buongiorno. Grazie mille, Andrea. Mi amo Katy. That's my Italian. Sorry. It's great to be here. Really great to be here, and thank you. I've worked with Magento. My name's Katy, and I'm from the Magento Association, but I've worked with Magento now since 2014, both for Magento and Adobe, and then since then with various different companies and different agencies, but always with Magento. And my presentations today is just really on some observations that I'm seeing, that I think we're probably all seeing. And I think really that the e-commerce world, I just see it's becoming more and more standardized. How many times do we go online and see the same homepage or checkout template, if you will? It very much feels the same. And that's worked, it's served us. It's kept things simple, it's kept things scalable, but it's not really challenging the status quo. So what I'm saying is I think some of those brands are becoming undistinguishable. It's the same kind of playbooks. But complexity as we scale is really challenging that. When you're, let's say in Italy, going into maybe the UK, you're not just going into another country, you're going into a new market. It's not just another language or another currency. There's 40 different countries in Europe for a start, or 200 different languages. But it's also about the channels. It's also about the distributors, the retailers that you're connecting with, how you're able to work with them. What's that value proposition specific to that market, and how are we speaking to the customers and the audience in that market? And that's very complex. And so competitive advantage doesn't look the same for everybody. It's about how we're doing things a bit different. So yesterday on this topic, just click forward. I got to the hotel about 10 to 8 last night, dropped my bags, and I ran, no joke, I ran to Legami store. If anyone's got kids, or maybe you're an adult and you like Legami, it's a Magento brand in Italy, started in Italy. And on the face of it, it's pens, it's stationery, it's gifts, kind of ordinary. But is it? Because I don't think it's ordinary at all. When you go into the stores, it's a real experience. When you go onto online, it's a real experience. They've completely disrupted stationery and gifting. They've made it really fun. They asked the audience, when they came into the UK, it's like, what pens do you want to see? Can you create your own pen, send it to us, and we'll pick the winner? It's really amazing, really immersive. It's a really great, powerful Magento brand, and if you don't know it, I think your kids will definitely love it. But they've won by building something that's memorable. They've built experiences that are connecting with people, they're connecting with communities, and it's something that is really unique. And so I think I see a lot of this question, especially online, is what platform should I use? But is that the question that we should be asking? Or isn't it about what business that we want to be and what business we want to become? And I think these are the type of questions that we should be asking. Technology shouldn't serve the strategy. It's the other way around. Sorry, guys. So I think competitive advantage come from supporting that complexity without slowing innovation. And that's something that Magento was born to do. It was the pillars that it was built upon. We talk about flexibility. We talk about creativity. We talk about ownership. And I think that those things matter even more today. There's a lot of noise around AI, around SaaS, around composable, and those are absolutely conversations that do need to happen. They're the right conversations to be happening. But as a business owner, it's also about how we sell, how we communicate to our customers, how we're innovating, how are we adapting. Look at what we had to do with COVID, for example. How did we adapt then? And those aren't questions that a technology can answer. Those are business questions. Those are strategic questions. They're leadership questions. So should the business adapt to the platform, or should the platform adapt to the business? And as mentioned, that's where Magento exists. It was the pillars that it was built upon, and I think it's more relevant today than ever before. There is a lot of noise in the market. There's other platforms, if we're really honest with ourselves, that have a lot more marketing dollars than we do and spend those on taking Magento down and talking about various different kind of tech stacks. But being loud isn't necessarily the same as being important. I really do believe that. And actually, a lot of the businesses in this room and businesses I've mentioned there with Lagami, Magento is still today doing a lot of the heavy lifting that other platforms aren't necessarily able to do, and helping to solve those complexities. And that's the competitive advantage. It's not by being the same. So what role does the Magento Association help with? Is to be educational, to be able to put on and work with people like Andrea today, to put on events, to have speakers come and talk to you about their own businesses and their own challenges. It's also to serve the ecosystem, to make sure that we're enabling, that we're talking about things that Adobe is doing in the ecosystem, that Magento are doing. And it's because of our agencies and our partners as well that Magento is innovated upon. It's an open source technology, and technology doesn't create those ecosystems, people do. So I want to take the time today at lunch breaks or breaks to get to know some of the merchants in the room, the agencies in the room, and be able to talk to you in a bit more depth about Magento. But I think the businesses that define the next decade are really going to be businesses that challenge the status quo, and they're doing something different, not the same as everybody else. And that's really what I believe that Magento is able to do. Thank you very much.